Well, folks, here we are back again. So I did that couple of shorts, but asked if you want me to do the reading on the energy around this whole Fauci shenanigans, right? This whole charade going on in Congress. And so what I want to do is I want to look at it two ways. The first way I want to look at it is with Lenormand, of course. Maybe we'll pick up tarot. What they want you to believe about what's really going on. They're really grilling this guy. They're really going to hold him accountable, and what's really kind of going on in the shadows, right? Which means what they're really up to. Because as you watch this thing unfold, it's just a total joke, right? It's completely asinine, the whole thing. It's absolutely absurd. We're just gonna pick the cards. Okay. And I do 5 on top and 5 on bottom. Whatever I'm feeling here. Okay. So let's go ahead and get on with this. So I'm gonna try to keep my bias out because I have a lot of opinions. Let's really try to focus on the energy of the cards from the universe to see what message is trying to tell us what's going on in this whole congressional shenanigans. All right. So we're going to kick it off with the center theme is, yeah, they want you to believe, they need you to believe that he's the one behind all of this. Fauci was the corrupt one. He worked with other politicians, and it was all him that created all the devastation that we were seeing in the world. That's the rats. All right. The mice, 23, 5. Just nasty. Through communication, the 3, they made decisions to shut things down. And it's him. He was behind all this. That's what we're seeing. All right. Now, what do we have here? They need you to also believe that he did it to sway opinion, right? He did it to change the emotions of the people through fear tactics. He lied, created all this chaos because he's being deceptive, the fox, because he wanted to change. He wanted to cut away any reality people had. He wanted to cut at the hearts of people. See how the scythe and the heart pair now? He wanted to cut away the heart because he was being shady. His whole change around the country was around deception, the fox. It wasn't for anything good. It wasn't for anything worth the people. It was all about him, his profitability, his mode RNA. That's what the whole thing was centered on. Total corruption, total devastation. And the Congress needs you to believe that. They need you to believe he acted with other individuals like Gates and so forth to bring down the House, to destroy the United States because they're going against Trump. Now, I want you to keep in mind something here before we look at what's kind of going on under the covers. Trump was the one who pushed Operation Warp Speed. So by him saying that he had nothing to do with it, it was the best thing ever, you got to remember the words of Trump as well. But again, they need you to believe it was Fauci and nobody else. Was it no Republican? Strictly Fauci and the Democrats. Now, the reality of this is what? The fish, it was all about money. Flowing. They wanted to have it just come flowing in. So by him being part of Moderna and Big Pharma connections with Operation Warp Speed through the Trump administration, money did flow in. Even with Obama and with Biden, they're all behind this. Biden also had money flowing in. So again, it's all about money, mass movements of money. All right. Let's see. We got, yeah. And they want you to believe, again, it was him, but the reality is it was about money because it was a good old boy thing. Their loyal friends were going to whip the public into a frenzy to take these injections at all cost, flowing through the veins. See, even though it's a whip, I'm kind of seeing like a vein, kind of like, something going in, and its punishment is like a repetition, is to train the people like a dog, to train them into doing what they're told with fear so they can collect a lot of money. They, as in everybody behind this, the big pharma politicians, and it was a club that was poison. They injected poison. So they acted like your friends saying that the sky was falling, but behind the scenes what's really going on, they want to inject you with things that weren't good for you, as we're seeing now, like a rattlesnake. What does it do? Once the injection, the venom goes in, there's no cure for it. And they knew that. So really, it was the whip, the propaganda promoted through the birds, the messaging through the media to push this toxic injection at all cost to drive massive revenue. Yes, I repeated that many times because I want to drive that into your head that it wasn't Fauci acting alone. So really what's going on in Congress, it's a smokescreen. They want to cover their traces because the birds, they're all one team and they're all poison, but they don't want you to know that. They have to make you think it's one side, but it's really they're two sides of the exact same coin. So at the end of the day, the reality is that they're all in on it. And the American people, and they're all friends. See the dog, loyalty, friends, putting people in this restrictive nature. You can't go to work. You can't do this. You can't do this. If you go to a game, you're going to be arrested. You have to wrap yourself in plastic. And they want to collect lots and lots of money. Why they destroy your businesses. And their friends grew. Their businesses, Amazon, Walmart, right, grew exponentially because they all communicate the same message to take this thing. And what's interesting too here is they played on the hearts of people. And the whip made you change course in life. It made you change the way you interacted with the world because the money was corruption. It's funny how these cards are laying out really interestingly. And then they communicated it through deception because the poison was to create emergencies, to create a narrative that by taking this viper, snake, venom, it's going to get rid of, cut away the public nuisance called COVID-19, right? And look at this thing too, all the skulls. And what are we learning now about this thing? It's hurting a lot of people. Heart, myocarditis. Look at that. Heart comes up. Now I'm kind of marrying. It's called marrying, and I'm pairing the cards. So again, the top line was they need you to believe it was all about him, but it wasn't. Because down here, they were all in it for the money. And the money was around corruption, big corporations, the rats, right? Mind you, like they're stacked, right? They're stacking together to push a narrative that's very convincing. Again, this is a 5-2, the Fox of 14. New outcomes bring them more stability. 5. That's going to bring contention to the world and more lucrative freedom for them. The mice, 23, is a 5. Again, through communications, 3, they could grow by forced you to make a decision. Take it or you can't be part of society. That was what they were telling people, right? You also got a 3 here as well, communication expansion. And the heart, see, they had to play on your peace of mind. The 6, 24, by things that they said they choose you to do. They made you make a choice on something, whether you wanted to or not. They kind of forced this decision. So if you do it, then you'll be stable in society. You can then go to work. You can then go to the gym and so forth. That became a 6. It gave you peace, but it really wasn't peace. It was a false sense of security. The ship is a 3, movement, growth for them through corruption. So as you can see is that the whole thing was built on a pack of lies because they needed you to believe right now to cover their tracks that it was all one party when here you can see it was all of them working together for filthy lucre, money. All right? That's what's really going on. It blows my mind how they pushed fear so much, through coercive measures. They were they knew exactly what they were doing. It was rotten to the core. But again, they want you to think it's only Fauci doing that to basically destroy your freedom. But really, it was all of them working together. Even at the 4 corners, right? Look at the corners here. You have the heart and the scythe. Cut away the heart, myocarditis. They were trying to convince you to take this toxin. And the thing is, you didn't analyze it. See, 7 people didn't analyze it. They used fear to train you, 11 the whip, to train you to break your intuition, to break your will, to take this so that they can make more, build more, shut down society through the words they chose to speak, right? So again, I think that at this point in time, people have got to really wake up. And if you're not awake, then you're not going to. So if this is the first time you're at my channel watching this, welcome. My name is Kev. This is Tarot with a Twist. And this question came up in a little chat I had in my shorts. And people said, do the reading. And so we're doing the energy reading on this whole thing around Fauci. Now I'm going to pull some tarot cards just to kind of see the vibe it has to say, right? See here too, you have the Ace of Wands, and it's showing you that they want to basically take away your will your desires, your passions. That was the whole goal, was to strip you of any type of normalcy, to take away your will to survive, right? They wanted to shut you down. They had to take away every inkling that they could to make you want to fight back. That's why they did it. That's why they still kind of push it, right? And then you have Page of Swords. It's like during the whole time, they played with the mind games, reckless, fast acting, quick. They didn't even give you a chance to breathe because they kept hitting you with more and more of this false narrative. As you see now, it's all coming out, right? It's all coming out. We're now learning that the whole thing was based on lies. There was no truth to it. None. Zero, zip, zilch. Now this is where I'm going to give you some facts. Let's say what it is. Coronavirus, has been around for a very long time. It's just a common cold. If you look in the old medical dictionaries, you'll see that. But see, people didn't know that. So they pushed this COVID thing, 19 thing. If you watch the video I did today, a little short, I explain what that even was and why they had to do it. So they had to be reckless, be quick, keep you on guard, keep you always fighting the demons. See the dragon there with the page attacking the moon. Make sure you didn't use your intuition so they could take away your desires. So therefore you would basically have no vitality. They want to strip it. What they tell you to do, you can't go outside. That's a sun card. Usually it's a very positive card, but not positive here because I'm pairing it. When you take away someone's desire, then they have no vitality. It strips it. It reverses it. All right? That's a 19. It's a 2 energy. It's a high priestess. They kept things hidden on purpose because they didn't want you to know. And they lied about it. So even though they knew, this is where the sun comes back into play. If you look at the Spanish flu, I didn't want to get into that, but how do they heal people back in those days? Do you remember? I wrote an article on it, a really long article at one point in time. I used to do journalism. They used the sun. They put the beds outside in the sun. But what did they tell you? Don't go outside. Stay away from the sun. But if you would have went out into the sun, then you would have brought your desire and vitality back. See what I'm saying? They knew what they were doing. Highly deceptive. They need to keep you in a cage, keep you boxed in, so you didn't trust nobody. So you didn't go to your neighbors. You didn't talk to anybody. That's what the cards are showing. Again, the Page of Swords. In this deck, you can see it's all about fighting, keeping the mind always on guard, keep the mind always on edge, making sure the intuition cannot work, keeping you in fear constantly so that Ace of Wands energy can't kick in. There will be nothing new, no desires. They strip it away. Why is that? Why do you think they kept you out of pubs? Why do you think they shut down bars? Well, during the revolution, where do they meet and talk? Go look that up. I'm just saying. And again, the sun. You see how the guy here in this card has a scythe in his hand and pulling out the guy's intestines? Interesting card, right? That's what they did. They pulled out your guts. They made sure that you were afraid of your own shadow. Okay? They didn't want you to have any hope at all. Because 3 of Cups. They had to make sure that you didn't communicate with other people so that your emotions were always out of balance. 3 of Cups reversed again too. See? It's funny too, the card shitting fire. just saying, right? You can't make this up. So by that is saying like you're always gonna be alone. So the sun can't heal you. You can't go to nature. When you went to nature, what happened? You get arrested because you didn't stand united. You 3 of Cups reversed it. You refused to engage with others and talk because you're too afraid. They made you so afraid that they could do whatever they wanted. That's the energy. And they're still doing it today. Now they're doing it with other things, right? They're pushing different narratives. I'm not going to do it in this reading because I want to keep my bias out of this. I want you to see the energy. So again, to wrap up this short reading, as you can see, the energy around this whole Congress thing was that they needed you to believe Fauci was the one behind all of this, the mastermind. But in reality, to cover their tracks with the money, They want to release his diary. They want to release all information about him just to destroy him. But they're involved too. They're behind this as well. That's the reality. That's what you got to remember. There's no sides and there's no left or right. It's one side. One side. And what's funny too is you take the colors red and blue and mix them together. What do you get? You get the color purple. And color purple is royalty. The color of kings, the color of tyrants. And today that's what our entire Congress is. Tyrannical. So, and the whole purpose to make you afraid of your own shadow and to make you second guess yourself and not trust your own mind. Rip out your intuition, take it away, and steal your thoughts. To keep you in a years and years of fear. Anyway, that's all I got. And if you want to ask me a question for Last Ask the Cards, go to wordofthetwist.com, become a member. It is free or paid. Paid has more benefits. But if you log in, once you create your account in the portal, click Last Ask the Cards, you can ask your question as a form, and I'll read it. A lot of times I'll do written, but lately I'm doing more video because the questions like this, I think, need to be heard by the people. All right? Anyway, folks, love you all. Hope you have a wonderful week ahead, and I want to see you in my next reading. All right. Bye, everybody.